When it comes to composting, most of us think we've got it figured out. Pile up the scraps, keep it moist, turn it now and then, and just wait for nature to do its thing. But the Amish? They're in a league of their own. Their compost piles break down so quickly, you'd swear there was, like, magic in their soil. The secret isn't a fancy gadget or some sort of chemical booster. It's a centuries-old method built on precision, observation, and a really close relationship with the land. Today, I'm going to share exactly what the Amish do differently so your compost can break down in nearly half the time. First, let's talk about the foundation of Amish composting ingredient balance. Most gardeners know about the greens and browns rule. Greens being nitrogen-rich materials like kitchen scraps, fresh grass clippings, or manure, and browns being carbon-rich materials like dried leaves, straw, or cardboard. But the Amish take this balance to another level. They start their pile with a thick layer of rough browns, often corn stalks or coarse straw, so air can flow freely through the pile from the very start. This base layer acts like a built-in ventilation system, preventing the dreaded anaerobic rot that, really slows decomposition. The next step is where their precision really shines. Instead of just randomly tossing kitchen scraps or yard waste into a heap, Amish farmers layer materials in thin, alternating sheets, about 2 to 3 inches of greens, followed by 4 to 6 inches of browns. These exact proportions keep the composting microorganisms at their happiest, working at full speed. They don't overload the pile with too much green at once, which can cause it to turn slimy, nor do they let it get too dry with excess brown. Every addition is intentional, almost like making lasagna for the soil. Moisture management is another area where the Amish, honestly, really excel. Too wet, and you get a smelly, soggy mess. Too dry, and decomposition just grinds to a halt. Amish farmers keep their compost as damp as a wrung-out sponge. In the summer, they'll cover piles with burlap sacks or old quilts to lock in moisture while still letting air circulate. In rainy spells, they throw on a tarp to prevent leaching. This simple practice ensures microbial activity never slows down, no matter the weather. Now here's one of the real game changers. Amish compost piles get turned far more strategically than most backyard bins. Instead of flipping the pile whenever they remember, Amish farmers turn it on a strict schedule, often every 7 to 10 days during the active phase. This frequent mixing introduces fresh oxygen and redistributes hot, decomposing material to the outer edges, ensuring even breakdown. Combined with the airy base layer, this regular aeration is a big reason why their compost cooks so quickly. Speaking of cooking, Amish compost piles run hot. They intentionally build them large, at least 3 feet high and wide, to generate internal heat of 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. This heat isn't just about speed, it also kills weed seeds and harmful pathogens, leaving a clean, safe, finished product. To achieve these temperatures, they sometimes add small amounts of fresh livestock manure early in the process. Manure from cows, horses, or chickens is rich in nitrogen and teeming with microbes, giving the pile a turbo boost of biological activity. Another little-known Amish trick is adding what they call living inoculants to their compost. These are simply handfuls of finished compost or rich garden soil sprinkled into new piles. This seeds the pile with billions of decomposer microbes right from the start, jump-starting the breakdown process instead of waiting for nature to populate it on its own. It's kind of like introducing sourdough starter into bread dough rather than waiting for wild yeast to show up. Finally, the Amish don't rush to use their compost the moment it looks done. Even after the pile has cooled and the material is dark and crumbly, they often let it rest for a few extra weeks. This curing stage allows beneficial fungi and bacteria to stabilize the compost, ensuring it's gentle on plant roots and packed with long-lasting nutrients. What's remarkable is that, using these methods, Amish farmers can produce rich, garden-ready compost in as little as 6 to 8 weeks, about half the time it takes most gardeners. The result is a product so full of life and structure that their crops grow healthier, resist pests better, and produce abundantly without synthetic fertilizers. You don't need to live on a farm or have a team of horses to compost like the Amish. By adopting their disciplined approach, balanced layering, moisture control, strategic turning, heat management, microbial inoculation, and a short curing period, you can dramatically speed up your composting process and get more out of every peel, leaf, and scrap you collect. So, the next time you start a compost pile, think like an Amish farmer. Build it with intention, tend it with care, and you just might find your pile breaking down twice as fast, and your garden thriving in ways you've never seen before.